Jacob Breeland was one of the team's top pass catchers in 2017. Spring football taught us plenty about how Oregon football will operate this fall. We know which players appeared to make strides, which didn't, and a few strategic tweaks that have been implemented to help get them over the top. Still, there remains a ton that we still don't know. The aim of this story will be to identify the big question for each position group. These will be questions that deal with depth, starting roles, and other things. Disagree with our questions? Let us know what you think the debate is at the moment in the comments below. Things happen on the football field. Oregon fans know that full well after last season. That remains especially true at quarterback, where the Ducks have had numerous seasons disrupted by injuries to quarterbacks. The question that lingers the most around this group right now is what would happen should Herbert be knocked out for a second straight season. Last year that answer was true freshman Braxton Burmeister. But will that remain the case again this fall, or will another true frosh, this time Tyler Show, be in line to fill in? The pair seemed pretty even through spring practice, and that carried into the spring game where both showed well. Burmeister has the edge in experience after starting 5 games a year ago, while Show might just have the talent edge given his superior recruiting ranking. When Oregon has had its primary back healthy, that back has typically toted the rock for over 40% of the team's carries. Last year Royce Freeman ran at 40.7% of the times, in 2015 it was 45.8% of the time, and in 2014 39.1% of the time. Freeman is now gone, and there is no clear bell cow runner to replace him. The last time this took place was back in 2013. That year followed years where LaMichelle James and Kenjon Barner each dominated the football. But the 2013 team featured 3 quality backs in Byron Marshall, D'Anthony Thomas, and Thomas Tyner. The trio ended up splitting the carries fairly evenly, with Marshall taking 29.6% of the carries, Tyner 20.3%, and Thomas 16.9%. Might this season be more like the 2013 year than the several that preceded and followed it? If that's the case, then expect Tony Brooks, James, C.J. Verdell, Darian Felix, and Taj Griffin to each have significant touches this fall. Oregon will need at least some production from its trio of incoming freshmen, Isaac Rocker, Jalen Hall, and J.J. Tucker, and grad transfer Tabari Hines this season. The question is who is up for the challenge. Hines was extremely productive during his time at Wake Forest. As I reported last month when he picked the Ducks, Hines has more career production than the returning wideouts combined. They'll need him to be productive this fall. It's also clear that the freshmen better be ready, just as Johnny Johnson and Jalen Redd were last fall. The Ducks don't return a ton of production, but they do have talent. It's just a matter of how ready that talent is to showcase itself. I'm not sure there's a position on the roster that has grown more healthy from June of last year to June of this year than tight end. Last year around this time, we were asking where the production would come from as the team featured just 2 scholarship tight ends in Jacob Breeland and Cam McCormick. Now, the group rolls 5 deep with scholarship talent, and that doesn't even include Ryan Bay, who was excellent a year ago. The question is, will the ball come to the tight end more this fall than it did last fall? A year ago Breeland acted as the only regular pass catcher at the position, hauling in 17 passes as McCormick and Bay grabbed 8 combined. That's just 25 combined catches. With the addition of grad transfer Connor Dillon and highly touted frosh Spencer Webb, and Hunter Kampmoyer coming over from defense, it seems feasible that the group could at least double that number this fall. Oregon stocked up on road graders in the 2017 signing class unlike they ever have before. They hauled in the highest rated and the largest group in program history. The question is, how soon will they see the field? It won't be easy to crack the starting lineup this fall. The Ducks return 3 players with 2 years of starting experience in Jake Hansen, center, Shane Lemieux, left guard, and Calvin Throckmorton, right guard. They also bring back Brady Aiello, who has 13 career starts, highly regarded understudies George Moore and Jacob Capra, and Alabama grad transfer Dallas Warmack. That doesn't leave a ton of room for the likes of Penei Sewell, Stephen Jones, Dawson Jaramillo, Christopher Rondazzo and Justin Johnson to play early. But isn't it also possible that one or two of those players are just too good not to see the field early? That'll be for Mario Cristobal, Alex Mirabel and Cody Woodhill to decide. Numbers weren't great for the Ducks this spring. Just 7 healthy players practicing was a bit tough, as they were just low on bodies to run through some drills. Oregon does bring back 3 players who started games a year ago in Jalen Jelks, Jordan Scott and Austin Failue. Gary Baker also made noise as he pushed Failue for first-team reps, and even started over the sophomore during the spring game. But with Malik Young's eligibility looking dicey at best, and just 2 additions, the team figures to have 9 scholarship players on the roster, with several of those players have yet to play significant minutes. This be a season where an injury here or an injury there could cost the Ducks in a major way up front. In the spring the question was, would the Ducks find a quality 4th linebacker to start beside Troy Dye, Justin Hollins and Lamar Winston? After an impressive spring, the question has now shifted to which of the talented linebackers will win that starting job. The trio of Kaulana Pelu, Isaac Slade-Matadia and Keith Sims turned heads all spring. All 3 could develop into a solid starting backer. The Ducks also have Samson Niu coming back from an injury that forced him to miss the spring, and a trio of big-time prep linebackers in Adrian Jackson, Andrew Johnson and MJ Cunningham. Thomas Graham. The Ducks will likely start 2 true sophomores at corner this fall when they face off against Bowling Green on Sept. 1. The big question is, how ready will Thomas Graham and Diamador Lenoir be? Graham looked more than capable during his first campaign, making 12 starts, while Lenoir certainly doesn't lack confidence. If one falters, the Ducks don't have an easy answer at this point, as they act as the lone scholarship returners at the position. While the Ducks don't have a lot of options at corner, they almost have too many at safety. It would appear that Ugo Amadi and his 21 career starts are safe to hold down one spot, but determining the other will require one player ascending above about half a dozen peers. Both Mattrell McGraw, 5 starts, and Nick Pickett, 3 starts, started games last year, while Brady Breeze filled in regularly as well. The Ducks will also be joined by the 2 highest-rated signees at the position in Steve Stevens and Javon Holland. Aiden Schneider made more field goals, 51, in his 4 years at Oregon than any other kicker in program history, and did so at a better clip, 85.0%, than anyone before him. It's hard not to classify Schneider as the program's best-placed kicker ever. The question is who will fill his massive cleats. The candidates at the moment appear to be sophomores Adam Stack, who was the team's punter last year, and Zach Emerson. Stack was spotty punting the ball as a freshman, finishing 10th among Pac-12 punters in yards per punt, while Emerson has yet to see the field.